It's all good.
Yeah.
Right, let me ask about someone else then, because obviously your bot lane partner at this time was Mikyx, who's gone on to basically win almost everything he can win and have all this amazing career. But the key thing to me is people actually, it wasn't that, if people don't know, Mikyx was nothing like the player you all current fans are going to think he was back then. Like, the joke is he didn't even have any personality. No one knew this guy. He wasn't a guy in all the interviews. He's a very quiet player. He was a guy who in the game did like some flashy stuff, so I know analysts would like hype him, but actually he wasn't like some huge name. Obviously in your team, he had that weird distinction of like everyone else is Danish and he's from like Slovenia or whatever the fuck, like so, some country that has no connection to Denmark at all, which was a little bit weird. So what I want to know is this: who is the old school Mikyx? Like, was he a similar player to now? Was he different? What was he like? Because in your lane, I mean, most people would think you were two quiet guys and you paired together with this guy. So what was it like? How did it work?
Yeah, I think the first year we were both very quiet.
Okay.
Like in the game mainly, but also outside of game reviews and stuff. I think we were both kind of, I mean, I spent a lot of time with him. I think he was a really nice guy, but in the game, yeah, we were both very skilled, but kind of quiet in game. Not really, calling too much. I think he's obviously very different, but still has traces of the same gameplay. But I think personality-wise, he's like, he's a grown man now. When he came in, he was a fresh kid who, didn't have much clue about life or what to eat and how to live and stuff like this. But yeah, I think it was kind of random how he came into the team. I just met him in duo queue, or it was called Dynamics.
Oh, really? Okay, that's how you found him. Okay.
Because I think he was like a Fnatic sub, and
Right. Okay.
after I played a few games with this guy, I had no idea how they didn't use him, because I played a few games with him and he was like the best mechanical support I ever played with.
Oh, okay.
Like,
He's already cracked from the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, like compared to what there was in solo queue and everything. Obviously, I didn't get to play with all the, I guess, top names there was. I don't know who was considered the best supports. I think it was like Miffy. But yeah, I think he was really good from the get-go. He just needed to learn the team game, and yeah, he had games with 10 devs and so back then as well. But we still managed to win games. But a lot of the scrims, we were either stomping our opponents or we would grief the whole team. A lot of games, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like one minor regret I had. Like when he was griefing, I kind of regret not just going with it and doing it together, you know?
Right. This is something I actually wanted to ask you about. Let me transition and ask. So the question I was going to ask is, I actually always describe you as, to me, you're more in the vein of like how Reckless plays AD carry, which is the traditional way of playing the role. You play safe in the lane. You just try and get the CS advantage. You go for a kill if you can, or the jungler's there, but you don't. It's not like the meta right now is insane in bot lane. It's like two people fighting all the time at the beginning. But it's like that was not the way the old school ADC was played. So I always wondered how you would deal with something like that, because just like Hylissang, who people often compare him to, they obviously do moves that are genius and win the game like single-handedly, but they definitely, if you're that like safe style of ADC, I mean, I know Reckless had his problems with this too, mate. Like, that's not always the perfect like partner for that sort of an ADC. So, like as you say back then, I guess you didn't know he was Mikyx who he became, right? So it's hard to just go with it. You just think the guy's in sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I just let him in, then I kept my own KDA most of the time.
Right, okay. Classic.
Like for the first year, my playstyle was exactly as how you say it. Like, I think I play the game different now, but back then, for sure, I was... I think I had high KDA most of the time, and
right.
he would die like 10 times, and I would have 1 or 2 deaths. So yeah, I think that's just not good most of the time, to be that opposite. But we still, like, just laning with him, we had good synergy from the get-go. Like, he was helping me to learn how to play lane more aggro, and I think we ended up being a pretty good bot lane at that point. It was only like Sven Miffy that were just better than us, straight up. But against everyone else, I feel like it was very comfortable to play with him. And he would just do a play, and there's a free kill in lane, I'll take it, and
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.